Yup, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. It all started a couple of months ago when I decided to build an absolute monster of a berm on my backyard mountain bike trail. The reason? I needed to make this corkscrew safer to ride. See, the problem with the corkscrew is the trees surrounding the landing. Every time I hit the corkscrew, I come skidding out of control right at them. It was only a matter of time before I had a big accident. The plan was simple. Construct a massive wooden bank turn, or berm, as us mountain bikers like to call it, that catches the rider and sends them in the opposite direction from the trees. But it also needs to be ridiculously fun to ride. And that is where this story begins. Let's get to work. Only one small tree will need to be cut down to make way for this monster berm, and the wood will be put to good use. I have this pile of sticks which I've cut to approximately 2 meters in length. I'm going to build these tripod TP type things that should help me visualize where to actually build the berm. To build the tripod, I've connected these two back pieces together with some wire, and this front log represents the riding surface of the berm. For a smooth ride, it's important to get the curve and the position of the berm in the right place. To do this, I'm connecting the tripods using string, which helps me visualize the corner. It also allows me to make small adjustments to get the berm perfect. After screwing around for a couple of hours, I finally got a curve that I'm happy with. This thing is absolutely massive. It's over 20 meters in length, which means I'm gonna need a hell of a lot of wood. Let's go find some. This is a log I found, and it's actually not a bad size. I should be able to get a lot of building materials out of it. But check out this. While I was scoping it out, I noticed that there was an echidna eating ants underneath. Cheeky little bugger's hiding now. Can you see him? Now that he's moved on, I can get back to chainsawing this log. I'm splitting it into two sections, and I just hope that the tractor has enough grunt to pull it out of this valley. At this point, you may be asking yourself, where the hell is he dragging these logs to? Well, it's time for me to show you my new toy. At the end of last year, I bought myself a hardwood timber mill, so now I can produce my own lumber for quicker builds. Let me show you how it works. After securing the log in place, I adjust the saw height and begin to make the first cut. When the blade is nice and sharp, it just glides through the hardwood. This tool is called a can hook, and it makes rotating the logs so much easier. By rotating them and slicing off the raw edges, I'm eventually left with a square chunk of wood, which is also known as a cant. I then mill this into slabs, and when I stand these slabs up vertically, I make one final cut. And the result are these perfect lengths of timber. This is still a lot of hard work, and because I'm still learning, I'm making plenty of mistakes. I loaded up the next log and started making the first cut, but something went wrong. It started cutting downwards instead of cutting straight. So I had a quick Google and I found several potential reasons that could cause this. First, there was a significant buildup of sap on the blade, which I cleaned with oven cleaner. That didn't fix it. Next, I decided to replace the blade entirely with a brand new one, but even that didn't help me achieve a straight cut. After checking the machine and the tracks were all level, I began to feel extremely frustrated. I'm pretty frustrated at the moment. I'm gonna take a break, clear my head, go for a ride. I know of a trail that has some big wooden berms, so I'm gonna go check them out and see if I can learn anything. Then I'll come back to this. My happy place. So nice we can get into this. This first one is pretty short, but the width is similar to mine, and it feels great to ride. Even Dad gave it a crack. Cooma has a few other fun features that I'd like to build on my trail, but let's stay focused on the berms for now. The second wooden berm is a lot bigger than the first, and in my opinion, the angle is too steep for the flat trail. You have to pedal your ass off to have enough speed to stay on the feature the entire way. I'll make sure I don't make the same mistake with my berm. Speaking of mistakes, I should probably pay more attention to what's in front of me. Now my brain's been rattled, I'm going to head back and give the mill a factory reset. We'll see if that fixes it. Alright, moment of truth. God, I hope this works. Success! We are back in business. Now let's get this timber to the site. I managed to get most of the way with the tractor, but the last 50 meters needed to be moved by hand.
Yeah, 2 of them was actually pretty heavy. Yeah. I wouldn't do that again.
Got a helping hand here today, got my mate Kip. Gonna dig a hole or two, we'll see. I'll put it to good work.
Oh, it's gonna be sick. Can't wait.
After digging a few holes, the 2 of us got to work constructing supports. Looking good, mate. The support's not that bad either. It's looking great, but to get it perfect, I'm going to use the string lines again. I think this one needs to come up like here. When we were happy with the angles, I locked them into place with a few screws. Kip's just headed home for the day. He was a massive help. We managed to get this thing looking pretty good. I'm happy with the curve. Now I need a lot more wood. That's tomorrow's problem. As I said, I needed a lot more wood, probably about 1.5 tons. But don't worry, I'm not going to share all the boring details, just the interesting stuff. Like these 2 slippery suckers on my measuring tape. Got in. Or Aggie attempting to surf the log, then realising it's probably best if she just walked. And that's when I got stuck on the steep hill. I had to cut the log into 2 sections. Or while I was milling, and this happened. I think this goanna's chasing up the bird's egg. I heard these birds just squawking and going nuts over here, and then this goanna just shot up the tree. Anyway, not much happening now, so I better get back to work. After a few weeks, I finally had a huge pile of wood and was ready to finish the berm. These boards are called stringers. They span the distance between the vertical supports. When they're locked into place, they'll then hold the riding surface planks. I roughly laid these ones out just to get an idea of the placement, and doing so, I realised that I've got a small problem. Have a look at this. See how this support is at a steeper angle than this one? That's because the berm gets steeper as we go, but it means that the stringer won't sit flat at one end. You can see I've got this gap here. Dad thinks that if I just screw it down, we should be able to get a twist happening in the stringer itself. Now it's a pretty thick and strong piece of wood, so I'm not sure if we're going to have the strength to do it. We'll have to find out. Dad had a great idea to use one of the boards as a lever. When attached to the stringer, we're hoping it allows us to apply enough force to twist it. That pop you just heard, that was the screw on the other side, which is nothing that a couple of extras won't fix. Ta-da! With the twisting success, I can now place the rest of the stringers myself, which means I am one step closer to test riding this monster. To make the supports even stronger, I'm adding a cross piece to turn them into an A-frame. It's so sturdy. Far out, it's actually really sturdy. That is looking bloody awesome. I cannot wait to test this monster of a berm. I just called this berm a monster because of the sheer size of it. But now that I've got the structure all in place, it's bringing back memories of my first roller coaster experience, the legendary Bush Beast at Sydney's Wonderland. The coaster was sadly demolished in 2005, but as I look at my berm taking shape, I can't help but see the resemblance to the once iconic ride. So I've decided to pay homage to it and name this feature the Bush Beast. Now we can lay down the decking. These planks are thick slabs of Australian hardwood and are incredibly strong and rot resistant, but my God are they heavy. The total weight over 1.5 tons. With it all screwed down, it's looking great, but I think it's going to look even better if I trim the edges. The Bush Beast is now finished and it is looking so good. I hope it rides as smooth as it looks, but we'll see. Time to test ride, and I've got a couple of mates here. We've got Dave and Carl. They're going to help me out with that, so
looking forward
we'll see how we go. Eh? What makes me nervous about this feature is how close it is to the corkscrew, which is also now known as the dunny drop. To be honest, I'm actually pretty nervous about this. It's the first time I've hit the dunny drop since I built it, so it could get a bit interesting. But I have built the berm nice and wide, which means there's plenty of room for error. Before I drop, let's have a giveaway. The winner of this episode's t-shirt is all the way from India, SMB's MTB. Congratulations. And if you want to win a t-shirt in the next episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. All right, let's do it. Dropping! These shirts are also available for purchase from my online shop.
Here comes Luke for his first go. Yeah!
Woo! Oh, that is so smooth.
Awesome, man.
This, like you just rock it along. You guys have to hit it. If you're
Yeah, let's go.
If this goes well, maybe we can even try a train. Yeah, boy.
Yeah! Woo!
Oh, yes, boy. So sick. You guys ready for some trains? Far out, that was close. Sick.
Yes.
So good. Hell yeah, this berm is an absolute monster. I think it has been a massive success. And that's where I should have ended it for the day. But I wanted to get one more POV shot, and that is when I lost traction with my front wheel, just before the drop. Oh. Oh my God. The butt slap and the ankle jolt. You good? Yeah, I'll be right. That was a crazy amount of hard work and time, and I would be stoked if we could get this video to go viral. So please help me out and share it with your friends on social media. If you want to see the full trail top to bottom, check out Dave's and Carl's YouTube channels for their videos of the weekend. If you enjoyed this video, then check out this one where I turn a fallen tree into my biggest gap and scare the crap out of myself. I built a wall ride bigger than most bike parks, and then I had a funny crash trying to hit it. Butt slam! This is what should have happened.
Yeah!